Hi, good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start in history part, chapter number 5, rulers and buildings. Dear students, between the 8th and the 18th centuries, kings and their officers built two kinds of structures. The first were structures of grand laws, while the second were structures for public activity. Dear students, the first main point, engineering skills and construction. Monuments provide an insight into the technologies issued for construction. Between the 7th and 10th century, architects started adding more rooms, doors and windows to buildings. Roofs, doors and windows were made by placing a horizontal beam across two vertical columns, a style of architecture called trebete or corbelled. Two technological and stylistic developments from 12th century are architectural form and use of limestone mixed with stone chips that led to faster construction. Dear students, the next main point, buildings, temples, mosques and tanks. Temples and mosques were beautifully constructed because they were places of worship and mean to demonstrate the power, wealth and devotion of Patan. The largest temple were all constructed by kings. The other lesser deities in the temples were gods and goddesses of the lineage and subordinates of the rulers. Muslim sultans and padshahs did not claim to be incarnates of God, but Persian court chronicles described the sultan as the shadow of God. As each new dynasty came to power, kings wanted to emphasize their moral right to be rulers. It was widely believed that the rule of just king would be an age of plenty when the heavens would not withhold rain. The next main point, why were temples destroyed? Since kings built temples to demonstrate their devotion to God and their power and wealth, they attacked and targeted these buildings when they attacked one another's kingdoms. In the early 11th century, when the Chola king Rajendra I built a Shiva temple in his capital, he filled it with prized statues seized from defeated rulers. The next main point, gardens, tombs and forts. Under the Mughals, architecture became more complex. Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir and Shah Jahan were personally interested in literature, art and architecture. Babur got gardens called Chahar Bagh built in Kabul. They were further constructed in Kashmir, Agra and Delhi by Akbar, Jahangir and Shah Jahan. Akbar's architecture is visible in his father Humayun's tomb. Under Shah Jahan, Mughal architecture were fused together in a grand harmonious synthesis. The ceremonial of public and private audience were carefully planned. Shah Jahan adapted the Chahar Bagh technique in the layout of the Taj Mahal, the grandest architectural accomplishment of his reign. Dear students, the last main point of today's class, that is reign and empire. As construction activity increased between the 8th and 18th century, there was also a considerable sharing of ideas across regions. In Vijayanagara, for example, the Elephanta stable of the rulers were strongly influenced by the style of architecture found in the adjoining sultanates of Bijapur and Golconda. In Vrindavana near Mathura, temples were constructed in architectural style that were very similar to the Mughal palaces in Fatehpur Sikri. The creation of large empires that brought different regions under their rule. This helped in this cross fertilization. The Mughals adopted the Bangla dome in their architecture. Dear students, up to here we have discussed many points under the lesson of rulers and buildings. I hope you all are understood this lesson. If you are having any problem in this lesson, you just ask me a question. Thank you and bye bye.